PFP for Peter Kowalewski. My rank was PFC. Drafted in 1951, and we were sent to we boarded buses in Shamokin, Pennsylvania, and they drove us to. I'm pretty sure they drove us to Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, which is on west of the Susquehanna River from here, and then from that point they put us on buses, and they drove us to Fort Meade, Maryland, and we spent 2 weeks at Fort Meade, Maryland, and they gave us some shots at Fort Meade. And they told us that we better start getting used to the Army life, and so we were at Fort Meade, and it was, I guess it was called a replacement depot, and it was a big base for a lot of new draftees, and by the way, when I took basic training, I think they were all draftees. There were very few guys that enlisted, because most of us, I think, in fact, I don't think I knew a guy that had enlisted, not in basic training. And so anyway, well, we stayed in Fort Meade, Maryland for two weeks, and then they sent us to. They put us on a train, and they hauled us off to Fort Leonard, Missouri, up in the Ozark Mountains, and at that time, and it's hard to believe, but we did not start training immediately. For 2 weeks, we couldn't start training because there was another group which was called the Cycle in front of us, and as a result, we were not doing much of anything except they gave us our bayonets, and they told us to go out and cut all the grass, and we did that. I mean, that's just so you become used to taking some stupid orders. And you have to do it, as simple as that. I mean, you're in the Army, and because actually we were inducted in Camp Hill they drove us from, right, the bus from Shamokin went to Camp Hill. That's where we were officially inducted, and that's when we became United States soldiers. And so when we got to Fort Leonard, Missouri, it was up in the Ozark Mountains, quite a few rivers up there, and it was really in the boondocks. It was probably about 90 miles away from St. Louis, and also 90 miles away from Kansas City, Missouri. There was also Kansas City, Kansas. And so we used to go to St. Louis, Missouri, every week except the first week, because you trained for you were in basic training. So usually if none of your friends really messed up bad, they would give you a pass for a 2-day pass. Well, you left. You'd leave Saturday morning, and you'd have to come back. You'd have to be there for Reveille Monday at 7 o'clock in the morning, and but because Saturday was a big inspection, and they would inspect, and there was a and then we had to form in a formation. And by this time, we were already, they were teaching us how to march, and they were teaching us just about everything, a little bit of everything at the time. And on Saturday morning, there would be an inspection, and then after the inspection, and they would come in your barracks, and we were in all wooden barracks, and they everything had to be perfect. And if everything wasn't perfect, if every soldier wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, if one person, one soldier, if they did the wrong thing, if they so-called messed up, screwed up, it affected everybody. So we had one boy, well, this one particular boy, he was a great soldier. He was a great soldier, and there was some. Well, by the way, there were some guys we took basic training with. They should have never been in the service, and I mean, really, they just had physical problems. Some had. I think we had one or two guys that had psychological problems, but but some of the guys had really physical handicaps, and we helped them along through basic training. But this one soldier, his name was Glenn Johnson. We had two Johnsons. We had James Johnson. No, his name was James Johnson. Glenn Johnson was another. One was from Virginia, one was from West Virginia, and we well, I don't know if you guys ever heard the phrase where guys didn't even have shoes until they went in service.